All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. This is my
Kinky Tauntaun.
Shields up, Captain.
This landing is gonna get pretty interesting.
Define interesting.
Oh God, we're all gonna die?
Perhaps today is a good day to die.
Someone ever tries to kill you, you try to kill him right back.
Control, you must learn control.
We are controlling transmission.
Captain, incoming message.
Also, I can kill you with my brain.
Make it so.
The Kinky Tauntaun.
This may smell good.
I want it.
I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Hey everybody, it's time to put that flux capacitor into high gear because this is the Kinky Tauntaun. It's Boo-Cha-Cha coming at you.
And Jeff.
Jeffrey, what do we got smoking on the old grill today?
Well, we have first things first.
Let's do it.
Star Wars icon Carrie Fisher, age 59, took to Twitter to force bitch slap people who were discussing how she had aged.
Wait. People age?
Yes, I know, it's shocking.
So you're saying, despite the fact that someone is a celebrity, they are in fact governed by various physical laws, including thermodynamics and the laws of entropy.
Yes, everything breaks down.
Well, fuck. I don't want to be a celebrity anymore then. All right, carry on.
We're men.
Carry on.
Carry on. We're men. We can be a little older. It's okay.
Okay.
She said, please stop debating whether or not I've aged well. Unfortunately, it hurts all three of my feelings. My body hasn't aged well, and I have... my body hasn't aged as well as I have. Blow us.
You can't call her classy, but you can just call her fucking awesome because, she's of course being self-deprecating, but also very realistic. And, you know what? My views of Carrie Fisher have been ever shifting. During the 80s, I remember she married Paul Simon, and she was in some, like When Harry Met Sally, and, she had left her Princess Leia ways behind her. And I didn't really look at her as being all super attractive anyway, even, I guess because I was just too young when Return of the Jedi came out. I couldn't.
Yeah, go back and look at the gold bikini now that you're an old man.
I'm with you there. Like, that's all fine and dandy, but you go back and look at When Harry Met Sally, you're like, but I will say that she's always had a beautiful mind. She's done a lot of script work and things like that. And obviously she's right, man. Her wit is right there on top of these other assholes who, apparently were taking issue with her, aging,
Well, a couple hours later, speaking of her mind, she tweeted, "My body is my brain bag. It hauls me around to those places and in front of faces where there's something to say or see."
She might as well be like on Supernatural or something. She's like, she's just wearing a meat suit. All right, we're just wearing meat suits, guys. It's true.
Or if she had flatulence, Doctor Who.
Oh yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah, all right. That's very solid Carrie Fisher in top form. I'm hoping they can get some of that sass in the next two movie scripts.
Well, like I was saying, she was 26 when she donned the gold bikini in Return of the Jedi, and with prodigious amounts of smoking that went on back then, not to mention the epic levels of drugs and alcohol consumption.
You went there. She partied like a rock star, man.
Well, we're lucky she still looks alive.
She doesn't look like a cast off from The Walking Dead or something. True. I mean, Nick Nolte. I watched a movie with Nick Nolte the other day. It's the It's the
God.
Walk in the Woods. It's recent. It came out this year with he and Robert Redford. Holy fuck! I mean, he's never looked great to begin with, but yeah, dude, it was bad. It was real bad.
Yeah, Nick Nolte and what's the other blonde guy who just went off the rails?
Gary Busey.
Busey, yes.
Yeah, he looks pretty terrible.
Well, did you know they asked her worshipfulness to lose 35 pounds to reprise her role?
You know, I could see that. Yeah, I remember seeing something about that and how, like, she's like, I'm so fit and healthy right now. It's not me. And, like, I mean, that's just her being her as well. Like, she can't really be her sullen, melancholy, cantankerous self when she's thin and skinny and happy with the world.
Needs those food endorphins.
Artists need pain. I have said that for years, and I'll say it again. She's an artist. She needs her pain.
And chocolate.
And chocolate. And Little Debbie's.
All right. I think we can conclude that story. Wait, what? There's good news? According to the latest poll from Quinnipiac University, Bernie Sanders would beat Donald Trump 51-38 in a general election matchup. The poll suggests Hillary Clinton would also put Trump in his place, though by a more modest 47-40.
Jeff, we have to have a discussion. I don't think we've actually had the discussion on air as of yet. But this Donald Trump thing, I was talking to our boy Mohammed the other day, and he is convinced to this day, to this moment, that Donald Trump is trolling America in the most grandest way, the grandest way possible. And he thinks that it's all a big ruse to show how stupid people are. And if he were to pull that off, I would be like, holy shit, Donald Trump's the man. He just proved how asinine everybody who wanted to vote for him was. Because if you'll notice, all these dickheads are coming out of the woodwork. You know, these latent bigots and, racists and, all that. And I guess I'm with everyone else who's just like waiting for the punchline, man. It's like, are we joking? Is this guy for real?
Well, he's either trolling or he's just a troll.
Well, that's, I think he actually might be for real. I mean, I want to believe, Jeff. I want to believe. But I think he's just a troll.
Okay. 61% of Americans say the Republican frontrunner does not share their values. 58% believe he is not honest and trustworthy. Really? And 57% say he does not care about their needs and problems. And 70% of GOP voters, I call them GOPs, are convinced Trump would have a good chance of winning in November 2016. Just 41% of Americans at large hold the same view, with a majority, 51%, holding that Trump does not have a good chance of winning.
All right, this is the problem. 41% of Americans think he's a good idea. 41%. That's just less than half of us, folks. Half of us think Donald Trump is a good idea.
What's that old George Carlin joke? Think how stupid the average person is and realize half of them are stupider than that. There's tons of evidence to suggest that having orgasms on a regular basis is good for your health.
It is.
In fact, science has suggested that masturbating regularly can lead to everything from an improved immune system to better bladder control to lower blood pressure.
I think everybody that listens to us below the age of 20 should be are just like shaking their heads right now saying hallelujah. Fuck yeah, I'm healthy.
For men, frequent ejaculation has been especially highlighted as a powerful factor in the prevention of prostate cancer.
You got to keep that thing cleaned out. I have heard that for years. You got to keep that thing cleaned out. That's always been my mantra.
Studies.
I'm sorry, guys. I got to go clean this thing out right now.
For no other reason than my prostate health.
Right, exactly.
I made sure twice yesterday.
Wow. Speaking of prodigious.
Have any of you had sex or masturbated in the past 24 hours?
Well, I guess I'm out, because I had sex last night. With a girl.
That's nice.
Now a study out of Harvard Medical School, Brigham and Women's Hospital confirms that what we already know, masturbation is awesome. In fact, researchers have conducted that one orgasm.
Okay, it's confirming what we already knew. It was like, I can imagine this being on the front page of the newspapers. Guess what, everybody? Masturbation is good. Yeah.
Well, like I said, it lowers the risk of prostate cancer. The only one that kills more men is skin cancer.
So maybe that's it. We just need a jacket. All right, we just need a jacket for our health. You know what we should have? We should start the world's first jackathon for men's health.
Oh God, jackathon, and then no ice skating rink. Or no ice skating rink.
Oh, I'm sorry. I want to be sanitary about it. You know, like a little barf bag for your wiener or something. I don't know.
Little booties.
Yeah, something. I mean, not a condom. That's just awkward. But
or do you like big booties?
I'm a non-discriminating booty lover.
They even crunched the numbers. The study data showed that the participants who ejaculated 21 times a month were 22% lower risk of getting the disease.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. All right, probably not first. You've probably been hearing this since the age of like 11 or 12 or whatever. But how about
I'd say mine's probably like 31, 32%. I'm really concerned about my health.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you be?
Oh, also, it doesn't matter whether the orgasms were achieved via via a solo flight or with a cockpit. As long as you're doing it often, you're doing it right.
All right, that's good to know. That's good to know. All right, carry on, sir.
Religion or culture? Here's a tweet from ISIS leaders. We urgently call upon every Muslim to join the fight, especially those that live in the land of the two shrines, or Saudi Arabia. It finishes with, rise. Asa.
Speaking of masturbatory acts, what the fuck do these guys think that they're trying to do? I mean, I realize they're trying to incite like mass rebellion against the evil satanic West, but it's a weird. We are living in a very strange period of time. The 2015, 2016, I think has the potential for being one of the stranger ones out there.
Well, you got all that, like 14th century style behavior.
Yeah.
And also genetic manipulation with like CRISPR and things like that.
I know. Like, then we have on the news where we may have discovered a Dyson sphere in some far distant reaches of the galaxy. I mean, that's the period that we're living in. It's all quite peculiar. These are queer times, my friend. Queer times.
Well, even when ISIL leader Abu Bakr, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that right.
I'm all for calling, not even referring to ISIS as ISIS or ISIL, but rather this Daesh thing, Daesh, which means, apparently in Arabic means barbarian, but that's also how the acronym is formed in Arabic, and they don't like it. They take issue with Daesh.
Well, anyways, one of the douchebag leaders of, ISIL called upon Muslims around the world to join his caliphate. Many Muslims around the world confidently replied that they'd rather do, anything else. A couple of replies that are quite humorous. Sorry, Gov. Colonoscopy booked. I can't speak today. Colonoscopy booked. You should have told me before I just renewed my Pornhub subscription.
Wow. You
got to do the dishes, bruv.
Okay.
I want I want to wait until April to find out what happened to Jon Snow.
That's a great answer. That's a great response.
My dad said I have to be home by 8 p.m. Will we be done by then?
Oh my God.
I just read the Quran. It says no, bro. Sorry, mate.
Oh my God.
Sorry, but this Big Mac isn't eating itself.
Okay.
I'm a little busy with the legendary super mutant overlord that keeps nagging me in Fallout 4. No can do.
Okay. That's
Santa just got me FIFA 16, so maybe in 2 decades or so.
Oh my God.
Only if there's free pizza. And sorry, but I'm watching Star Wars. Maybe tomorrow.
Of course.
Yeah. So they're just doing normal shit.
I love how they're the West is satanic and we're evil and things like that. Yet they use social media and technology. I'm saying you do realize without like knowledge and not living in the fucking dark ages, you would have none of that shit. Quite the hypocrisy. Anyway, is that it for our? Wait, there's good news?
Yeah, that's it. And now it's time for Badass Bruce.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
I'm badass. Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
How does it feel?
Groovy. Hail to the king, baby.
Badass Bruce! All right, Jeff, we have been talking about this for a little while now, and the season finale played out on Saturday evening, and we got our 10 episodes at 30 minutes apiece. What do you think, man?
It's not enough. They should have done more.
Oh. Well, these little 30 minute episodes played out really well and quickly. And, I kind of wonder what it would have been like if they had just done the regular format, like 60-minute things. But the whole 30-minute things it works so very well for this story. I mean, of course, the story is somewhat negligible. I mean, it's there. The plot, of course,
gun and a chainsaw and a shotgun and lots of blood.
We call those boomsticks around here, sir.
Boomsticks. Sorry,
boomsticks. A fistful of boomstick. Anyway, the show, of course, started with Ash.
Fistful of boomstick. That sounds like the story we did just a few minutes ago.
It's a jack off.
Sorry, continue.
Jack off for men's prostate health. This is serious, guys. Meanwhile, if any pornographic movie stars want to get in touch with us to organize this, we're okay with that. Okay. No. Anyway, for the rehash of the Ash, we have I don't want to call him elderly, but Bruce Campbell's getting up there into almost elderly like status. I mean, he's already a cult hero, but Bruce Campbell's got to be what, 60-something now? I
think so. Something like that.
So, I mean, he could be drawing a social security check really freaking soon if, my guess in his age is correct. So we have Ash, who gets high with a very young and attractive lady friend. So, at least Ash is still pulling some in.
Yeah.
And he decides, whilst high, that he can read from the Necromonicon. Ex Mortis.
Well, because the chick likes poetry and he needs to seal the deal.
French poetry. Right, right.
Needs to seal the deal.
Ain't nothing like raising some deadites that's poetic. So we follow the events after he calls the Deadites forth from the Necromonicon for the next, I guess 300 minutes, right?
Yeah. Oh, I never asked you, was that Latin that they were reading?
No. It's definitely not. It's, I'm not familiar with Enochian very well, but I would guess maybe it's something like that. I have no idea what they used as a language.
Or was it Sumerian?
Well, I guess it's in one of the movies or whatever, they say something about Sumerian, but it's definitely not Sumerian writing, so who knows?
Sorry.
But anyway,
tangent.
Yeah, a little nerdy tangent there. Anyway, so we have two sidekicks, and I was a huge fan of both of the sidekicks in this story. And I was so glad, so very, very glad that both Pablo and Kelly made it through to the end. I mean,
Me too.
We're not spoiling anything, but I was just like, oh shit, two sidekicks. That never works. One of them's going to die.
Well,
but no,
because they have to get them together, before they can actually kill they can kill one of them off.
Yeah, maybe like the series finale, they'll kill Bruce Campbell off, and then these two can ride off in the sunset and kill Deadites together. Like, I kind of foresee something like that happening.
That could be.
And of course, like Ash will die, but then he'll get like resurrected in like an epilogue. He'll
get resurrected in
Ash versus the Good Dead. And he's just like
Jacksonville.
Oh no, I'm like talking. He's going like there's a rebellion in heaven, and he's like working for God or something, and like boomsticking angels left and right.
Kind of a supernatural vibe.
Yeah, a little bit. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Anyway, so that's it. In the role of the story, we had Ruby, who we were led to believe early on. This is Lucy Lawless's character, that she was a relative of the professor, like as in the daughter and the sister of the other one, who originally had the book in the cabin to begin with that Ash found. And I actually thought we'd get more answers as far as like where, why for me personally, I've always wondered like, all right, we have this book in this haunted ass cabin in the middle of the woods in Nowhereville, Michigan. And, why is is it a rental property? What's going on here? And like, why are they just people just leaving their shit and their dead bodies just laying around? Like they have the skull, Linda's skull and the vice grips or whatever. And I always wanted to see like, okay, why is Ash going to this place? Like what's particular about this place? But we still don't know that yet. All we can say, Jeffrey, and you might have already guessed, is that the epicenter of all things evil is, in fact, Michigan.
Well, it is turning redder and redder every year.
Ooh, you went there. Oh, okay. No, I thought that was quite interesting how they are saying those kind of things, inferring such things. And you're right, it is getting a little red these days.
Well, it's funny because Michigan is supposed to be the epicenter of all evil, yet he wants to live in Florida.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
The true epicenter. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of crazy shit going on down here.
Yeah.
For those of you who do the Twitter thing, you should follow Florida Man and Florida Woman on Twitter. You will undoubtedly laugh daily at some of the crazy shit that goes on in the state of Florida. Anyway, that crazy shit does not include boomsticking and raising demons from hell and knocking off deadites and things like that.
Every once in a while, somebody does try to eat somebody else, though.
That's true. Yeah. There's, what was it called? Flocka is that new drug?
Flocka.
It's based on the bath salts.
Yeah.
It's part of the active ingredients, but apparently in Miami they're having a hell of a time with that shit.
It's like
it's so cheap. It's so cheap and it makes people fucking nuts. And if the zombie apocalypse starts, it's gonna be here.
Yeah. Flocka. A flock of zombies.
A flock of, oh my God, flock of zombies. Anyway, back to Lily Lawless. We were led to believe that her character was, in fact, the relative of the professor who left the book in the cabin. Come to find out, she's definitely not related to those people at all. In the interest of warning people, I don't think I've spoiled anything, but I'm spoiling shit now. Lucy Lawless is not that person. She's, in fact, one of the Dark Ones. And if you can think back all the way to your original Evil Dead, when it talks about how the Book of the Dead, Necronomicon, was written, it talks about how it was written by the Dark Ones in the ancient days. So Lucy Lawless is old.
Speaking of stars that look good for their age.
Old. Oh, she looks phenomenal. And I think she was recently in a movie naked as well. Or a movie or a show.
Well, she was naked. It was
Spartacus, right?
All the time, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, good for her. Apparently, the laws of entropy are not really working very well on Lucy Lawless.
Well, it is New Zealand. It's hard to get there.
She probably has done fewer drugs as well.
True.
she probably doesn't have the $1,000 a day coke habit that Carrie Fisher had in the 1980s. Whatever. Okay.
But yeah, she said she wrote it. They're like, I don't think she wrote it by herself, or do you think?
I think they're wanting to say that she wrote the fair chunk of it. Maybe not everything in there, but I think the inference is that she wrote the majority of what is in that book.
Now, I don't know about you, but I did not see that coming.
No, not even remotely.
No.
So that was a very pleasant surprise. And of course, that was the season finale from this past Saturday, and into her offering the deal to Bruce Campbell. Of course, they actually cut out the cover of the Necronomicon and pasted, I just sort of flew and pasted itself onto Pablo, and he's squirting out, vomiting out little demon babies.
Yeah, those not only was that part creepy where he's vomiting out the amniotic sacs, but
yes,
the little, no-eyed kids were pretty goddamn creepy.
They were very creepy, and I kept thinking that, like, Kelly's gonna get it. Oh my God, Kelly's gonna get gutted by one of those creepy kids. But it didn't happen, and I'm very, very glad that didn't happen. Yeah, at that point, I thought Pablo was a goner for sure.
Yeah. We did lose the hot blonde chick, though. That was a little disappointing.
You knew that was gonna happen.
I know.
They were just saving her for later. She was just... They were stalling on that one. Yes, the attractive blonde Australian girl who was hiking in the woods.
Samara Weaving is her actual name. She is the niece.
Hugo Weaving's daughter?
Niece. She's Hugo niece.
Oh, niece.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me. I guessed it.
Yeah, I was
nerd
like,
knowledge.
Weaving? Wait a minute. There can't be that many. Oh, maybe it's more like a really common name in Australia, but I looked it up.
I'm glad that the apple fell far from that tree, man. Jesus.
She did some kind of bikini movie, if anyone's interested in looking for pictures.
Wait, isn't Hugo Weaving is in drag in some movie?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, my God. I don't remember what movie it was.
Tu Wan Fu or something?
No, it's not that, but it's Hugo Weaving definitely does drag in a movie that I have seen, and I'm so glad, so very, very glad that his niece looks nothing like that.
Yeah, and I also looked at the one who played. They did a good job with the finding someone who looked kind of like the original Linda.
Oh my God, I was amazed. Like that was actually really astounding as how much that actor. They probably made her up with some sort of enhancements to look like that. But I was like, shit, is that the original lady? And they'd like use CGI to like age her out or whatever. But if you look at the actress, that actress does not look even remotely like that anymore. So,
yeah, the head in the vice.
Speaking of aging, yeah. I think somebody might have done more coke than Carrie Fisher.
What? Who?
Oh, the original Linda actress.
Oh, I didn't look her up. I looked up the heads in the vice side by side.
She actually looks normal for like a 60-something-year-old woman. That she looks exactly what I think everybody else's parents probably look like or close to.
Well, yeah, are you really supposed to be like, ooh, 60-year-olds, so hot?
Well, that's a thing. And I don't want to talk about that.
Oh yeah, I skipped those sections on the porn sites.
Yeah, Yep. Oh my God. Anyway.
Sorry.
Wow. Jeff, you're making quite an example of yourself today. Talking about masturbating quite frequently, having to skip the granny porn. I mean, you're a role model, sir. A role model.
Just keeping it healthy and keeping it not too weird.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna start a charity. It's gonna be jacking it for prostate health. Okay, so where do we think this is going? Bruce took the deal. She offered him, in order to save Pablo and Kelly, she offered him like the reset button, she said, where he can just go to Jacksonville. And how'd you like that bit about the gas money? Like, come on, like $10 for gas?
Yeah.
Like that, like, I'm not gonna say that was my favorite part of this entire season, but it was probably my favorite part of the entire season. When he's making this deal to save everyone's life and screw the entire world, he's like, "How about some gas money?"
Well, I would have taken the chance that dark ones probably lie, and I would have just stabbed her and see if Pablo made it.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think we're going to pick up right after this season ends when we pick up with season 2. What do you think? I mean, had the earth caving in underneath them as they drove off into the sunrise or whatever. Do you think they're ever going to get to Jacksonville?
By the looks of it, they're not going to be able to stay ahead of it. I think she was just, bullshitting.
But he did take that dagger.
True.
So I almost think that she has intentions of leaving him to the side and us picking up like 6 months later and, like shit starting to happen and it's sort of, it's gotten into the world, but people don't know it yet. Or
imagine, those three just kind of going about their day. Everything around them is going to fuck, but the Deadites leave them alone, just to like, I see skies blue, crowds of white.
All right. I do. If they saw that, I think they would definitely. Pablo would not stand for that.
Oh, yeah.
He's a good man, that Pablo. Too bad his girlfriend got decapitated.
Oh, what?
The Australian girl, the weaving girl.
Oh yeah. Well, we actually didn't see what happened to her, did we?
No, we did. Her head got ripped clean off and thrown out the window, and Kelly had a conversation with that head.
Fuck yeah, she got totally dismembered. Like,
yes,
yeah, that's right. I was remembering the blood coming out from underneath the door, but then again, there was the ejection of material.
Indeed. Okay, so anything else we want to talk about in a wrap up of Ash versus Evil Dead?
Well, I was just looking through the pictures I have on our notes, and boy, Lem, they did a real good job of making him look creepy as hell.
Yes,
that episode was pretty awesome too.
I agree.
Episode 6.
It was a damn good episode.
Did you believe?
I think was it 6 from the episode that they were in the diner up and through. I'm gonna say episode 8, like maybe like 6, 7, 8. Were probably my favorite episodes. And then once we got to the house, it was good. It was pretty good. But it was just that those were the highlights because they weren't quite there yet, and they had some great dialogue and some absolutely. I mean, it was gore, but it was hilarious. Like the Michigan militia thing. Oh my god.
Yeah.
These people. And, the funny thing is, I mean, we're seeing those kind of people right now having taken over a federal park building in Oregon.
Yeah.
But,
I was just hearing
tell you
about
what, those, I mean, that's proof enough those shitheads actually exist. And we know by personal experience that those shitheads actually really do exist. Michigan, of course, is, I guess, renowned for that kind of behavior, which is why they included it in the show.
Yeah, how did Michigan get so many militias? I don't understand.
I don't know. It's a weird dichotomy because you have the urban areas, Detroit and the Arsenal of Freedom during World War II, and manufacturing all that shit. And then you have everybody else out in the woods apparently hunting and loving their guns. So I guess it has more to do with that than anything.
Well, hunting guns is one thing, but
I don't know. Like, I remember way back when, I was pretty young when I first started hearing about Michigan militia stuff, but I knew this guy who was talking, one of my brother's friends or something. He's like, "Oh, have you heard about the Michigan militia? It sounds really cool, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Oh, that sounds really cool." And then, come find out later all the shit that they did and what they're associated with. But it turns out the same guy. Yeah, exactly. But this guy, he revoked his social security number.
That's weird.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Neither did I.
He revoked his social security number. And if you're an illegal alien, you might know this, but for everybody else, if you don't have a social security number, you can't work in the United States of America.
Well, not above the table. So you can work under the table.
He never had a job again.
All right, on that note, what else can we say? I'm looking forward to next season.
Next season looks pretty good, and like I said, I mean, where they're going to go from here, I mean, the world is literally going to hell. So,
do you think they'll do more than 10 next time?
No, I think they're going to keep it to 10. I think they'll still keep it to 30 minutes too. So basically, you're getting like 2 regular Evil Dead movies in terms of length. And like I said, man, I'm really holding out hope of some time travel.
Yeah.
I would love to see them revisit the Army of Darkness thing and have him set things right in the past before he goes in the, something like that would be pretty fucking awesome.
Well, have him almost set things right in the past and kind of screw it up.
Yeah, like he gets back to 2016 and finds out Donald Trump got elected. Oh fuck.
And he's a Deadite. He's one of the dark ones.
Yeah, he's one of the dark ones.
Him and Lucy Lawless are getting it on.
Why'd you have to go there?
Well, he'd probably be happy with that arrangement.
Nobody else would. Not me, man. All right.
Badass
All right,
Bruce.
So that's it. Badass Bruce. What's next on the docket, Jeff?
Now it's time for Darwin Weeps. Stories about dumb people that would make Darwin weep for the future of our species.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real. So dumb, so dumb, so dumb, so.
A Texas woman says her Christian faith gave her the power to redirect a tornado away from her home.
What?
Sabrina Lowe of Rowlett, Texas, said 10 family members were visiting
Texas, of course.
10 family members were visiting her apartment Saturday when they heard the distinctive train noise of an approaching tornado. In the statement, Lowe said, "We actually went outside and started commanding the winds because God has given us authority over the winds, the airways, and we just began to command the storm not to hit our area. We spoke to the storm and said, go to unpopulated places. It did exactly what we said to do because God gave us the authority."
I summon the full power of the storm! Wind, heed my command!
Jeff, that woman obviously needs to be a superhero.
Yeah, no shit.
I mean, Odysseus had it wrong. I mean, he was going all over the Mediterranean trying to get home. Apparently, he just needed to convert to Christianity, and he's got it.
Yeah, he would have been able to control the winds.
Exactly. I mean, fuck.
Well,
what do you do? I don't. Yeah, that's actually a symptom of narcissism. So I'm just going to chalk that up to this woman being a narcissist.
Yeah, among other things.
Or just plain batshit crazy. Yeah. Whatever.
The EF4 tornado with wind speeds up to 180 miles per hour was among 9 confirmed tornadoes that swept through the Dallas area, killing 11 people and destroying more than 1,000 buildings. No one was killed in Rowlett, but the tornado damaged or destroyed about 450 buildings. I say as long as she's taking credit, can the owners of the 450 buildings sue her?
I think that's a reasonable question, sir. A reasonable question. It actually reminds me. Okay, well, I'm gonna talk about it later, but I'll I'll refer back to it when we talk about it. Keep going. What do we got?
Play soundbite, making a cloud disappear with psychokinesis in April 2015. That was it. That was all the Darwin Weeps.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real. So dumb, so dumb, so dumb, so.
Let me see. And now it's time for our science, history, and technology segment we call Cool Shit.
Cool. 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 Shit. Cool. Cool.
Shit.
In this Cool Shit, we talk about Oak Island and some interesting discoveries. Have you heard of Oak Island?
I have heard of Oak Island, and I'm a little ashamed, though not a lot ashamed, to admit that I watch the Curse of Oak Island show on History Channel when it does come on. I think it's only like 6 or 8 episodes per season so far. But it sort of occurred to me, my wife was making fun of me for watching the show the other day. And
I go back all the way to the In Search of days.
Right, I know. She's like, oh, why do you like the show? It's so stupid. And I'm just like, you know what it's all about? It's because every guy wants to search for treasure.
Well, yeah.
Okay? Like, just, I don't care who you are. If you're bearing the Y chromosome, you have this innate, evolutionarily programmed need to go look for treasure. So the show is about hunting for treasure. So I like it, goddammit.
I think it goes with our kind of some men's philandering ways. Looking for treasure.
We're just looking for booty. Which is what they're looking for, like pirate booty and stuff in the show.
Professor, what's another word for pirate treasure?
Well, I think it's booty. 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 That's what it is.
All right, continue on. The curse, or no, we're not talking about the show necessarily. We're talking about something at Oak Island, Jeffrey?
Well, a group of researchers has come up with a controversial theory that the Romans set foot in the New World more than 1,000 years earlier than Columbus.
Whoa. Wait a minute. What?
Say what? Say what again? Say what again? I dare you.
Well, the theory centers on a discovery of what they believe to be a Roman sword on Oak Island off Nova Scotia.
Oh no! You gotta go. Give me the meat and taters on this one, Jeffrey.
Well,
Go.
of course, some historians are like dismissing the finds as inaccurate, claiming artifacts such as this can be dropped by collectors of modern times. But scientists are currently unable to rule out that possibility. But there are more finds. Finds include a Roman shield boss, like the metal kind of circular thing on a rounded thing on a shield.
Right. Yeah.
A number of Micmac carved images by indigenous people drawn on cave walls in Nova Scotia. Some of these images show what is believed to be Roman legionnaires marching, as well as carved stones on Oak Island that possess a language from ancient Levant, which I don't know if Levant. Well, the Levant is an approximate historical geographical term referring to a large area in the eastern Mediterranean. The Levant included all of the islands and countries along the eastern Mediterranean shores, extending from Greece to Cyrenaica. Sorry.
I'm just anglicizing the hell out of that one. Okay.
I was going to say Cyrenaica, but
all right, keep it coming, man.
Other findings include a Roman legionary whistle found on Oak Island in 1901. So this has been going on for a while, and a small.
This is all really peculiar.
Yeah, and to corroborate in kind of another geographical region, a small Roman head sculpture was found in Mexico City in 1933.
Yeah. I've done some research on that.
And
it was during the reign of Septimius Severus that it is alleged that he lost basically a fleet of ships. Nobody know what happened to it.
Ooh.
Obviously, it was shipwrecked somewhere, but that's the idea that that maybe they got to Mexico.
Cool. And there's something we might talk about another time where they found a cache of coins, of Roman coins. The date from that same, if I remember reading right, dated from the same, that Severian time frame. So, another clue is the presence of an invasive species, a plant that was once used by the Romans. So, if somebody's doing a plant, they're doing a pretty good, damn good plant. You know, if they brought plants.
Yeah. And I'm looking at your little outline right here, but there's something about a shipwreck, and they know where the shit's coming from.
Yeah. Well, anyone who doesn't know about what Oak Island is, part of the island was like they manufactured it to make this hole to protect somebody to protect buried treasure. And Oak Island has been the center of one of the biggest treasure hunts in history, which began in 1795. And like under the ground, there are these channels made for the tide that are just covered with
right. I've seen that in the show
to act like a capillary action. They have coconut fibers underneath.
Exactly.
The ground.
So I remember that was in the first season of the show.
Yeah.
We were talking about these coconut fibers are even dating until 13th century or some shit.
Wow. See, I haven't seen this show, but I've seen lots of shows on it. The History Channel series Curse of Oak Island reveals how researchers are attempting to discover the island's long-held secret. The guy who found a lot of this stuff, is he on the show Jovan Hutton Pulitzer?
Negative.
Oh. Who is featured on the show. Oops. Apparently.
Well, no, I mean, he's not on there with any regularity.
Has now put together a paper detailing his discoveries. Pulitzer claims the sword is 100% confirmed authentic and described it as the smoking gun to his theory. The ceremonial sword came out of that shipwreck, which they never explained in the paper. He told the Boston Standard, it is one incredible Roman artifact. He bases this on studies of the artifact's metallic properties, which match those of other ancient Roman artifacts. Has the same level of arsenic and lead. They've been able to test it against other swords of the like, and it matches.
So there's no doubt that what they're testing is Roman, and it's just okay, there's a shipwreck. Why aren't we looking at that shipwreck?
Yeah, do you know what shipwreck they're talking about? Because like I said, I haven't seen the newer show.
No, they haven't talked about anything as far as the last episode I watched, which I think was last week. They found some sort of underwater, not naturally occurring formation underwater.
Well, yeah, they definitely should check that out. One cool thing is they found gold Carthaginian coins on Oak Island. No, on the mainland near Oak Island.
Oh, okay.
And
I don't know. Okay, I'm very intrigued by this proposition. I think the ancients were much cleverer than we ever give them credit for, and I think not only do I think it's feasible for the ancient, particularly the classical age, the Greeks and the Romans. Not only do I think it's feasible that they could have crossed the Atlantic, I think it's probable.
Yeah, you kind of go island hopping, and eventually you get there.
Yeah, I mean, if Polynesians with their little hollowed out canoes can cover thousands upon thousands of miles in their fucking little hollowed out canoes, why can't a Roman trireme or quadreme or whatever make it to the New World?
Well, and if you look at the size of the islands that the Polynesians settled on, and how far apart they are, and then you look at kind of the chain of islands that basically, if you just go east, you're going to keep running into shit. Across the Atlantic, from Iceland to Greenland, and then
exactly,
and
then just kind of all the way down. And of course, we're talking about an age where it was a lot colder, so there were, they could have readily seen ice and steered to the south of it, and it's feasible that they never got out of sight of something that might have resembled land anyway.
Was that during the Little Ice Age?
Well, yeah.
And what was the emperor you named? Severus?
Septimius Severus was during his reign that apparently a fleet of ships was lost at sea.
Was that anywhere near the Punic Wars?
No.
Oh,
no,
so
well after that.
So the gold Carthaginian coin is kind of interesting then.
Well, Carthage is destroyed in 146 BC, so I don't necessarily think that there would have been a lot of gold coins around, even as far as Carthaginian coins go. I'd like to see what the scholarship is.
Well,
in those
that's
coins
what I'm saying.
particular.
That seems a little odd to me that they found.
That is a little anachronistic even for that period. But anyway, we move on, sir.
Well, you know, like I said, so now some historians believe that it was the Romans that discovered America, but others, you know, they kind of know now that the Vikings, at least, were here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we know the Vikings
before
of course,
Columbus.
were
Yeah,
long before Columbus ever got
about
there.
1,000 years.
And
I think.
I mean, when we have archaeological evidence for such, whereas I think even when we were kids, that hadn't quite been discovered yet,
Yeah.
or maybe just recently discovered.
Well, not 1,000 years.
It's a sure thing, man.
Not 1,000 years. A couple hundred, several hundred.
Well, it would have been about 600 years.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So, this one was about 1,000 years. That one would be, yeah. So, interesting.
All right.
Cool shit.
Yeah, that's some cool shit there, Jeffrey.
Guess what? It's time for our 2015 entertainment review.
I feel like we should have like the Entertainment Tonight music or something.
I'll do that.
All right, Jeff. It's the end of the year and the beginning of 2016, and we thought we should see fit to have our year in revenge, or I almost said year in revenge.
All that matters is that two stood against many. That's what's important. So grant me one request. Grant me revenge. And if you do not listen, then the hell with you.
Our year in revenge.
Year in revenge. Our year in review, 2015, and we were first brainstorming about this, and we had a kind of a hard time narrowing down what we're going to do. We're like, let's do top shows and top movies. And then we're like, for me this year has been like a lot of really great TV and some pretty good movies.
And for me, it's like, I haven't seen like at least even half the shit that came out in 2015 yet. But out of the stuff I have seen, here we're gonna go.
I guess I do watch quite a bit of stuff, and I was overwhelmingly pleased with television options this year.
Yeah.
Of course, this is how we're gonna do it, ladies and gentlemen. We're giving each of our top 3 favorite nerd shows. We're going to give you our favorite, like, normal show that doesn't have to do with anything nerdy or geeky. We're going to give you our favorite comedy of the year, and then our top 3 movies of 2015. And we're already, we agreed upon, we've already talked about Ash versus Evil Dead considerably. So we're not going to talk about Ash versus Evil Dead. It's an obvious shoe-in for our top 3 favorite shows. And I'm not quite sure where I would place it. It'd probably be towards the top, if not the number 1.
Yeah, so don't yell at us. We've already talked plenty about it.
Yes. And we also decided to not copy each other. So I'm going to wholeheartedly agree with some of your choices, and maybe you will agree with at least one of mine. I'm not sure if you've seen the other 2. But go ahead, Jeff. What's your number 3 nerdy show of 2015?
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones. That was a good show.
Yes. Yes, it was.
David Tennant was quite the bastard in that show.
It's an awesome villain and such a hard power to overcome. That's why they kind of had to do a little workaround to get around it, you know?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we're talking about, of course, David Tennant's portrayal of the villain Kilgrave, who amounts to really nothing much more than a serial rapist.
Yeah.
And, like, he's so disturbing as this individual. And, yeah, man, that's a damn good choice.
Yeah, basically, if he says it, you have to do it. So
exactly, yeah, that's his power or whatever, and we're not going to get into it too much. But they also introduced the character of Luke Cage, who's going to be getting his own show on Netflix as well.
Oh, cool.
And of course, it even referred to one of the characters in the other show, which we'll talk about in a few moments. All right, Jeff, my number 3 favorite nerdy show of 2015 was a show on Amazon Prime. I don't know if you have the means to watch it, but I definitely recommend it because I don't think you have seen it yet. It's called The Man in the High Castle.
Well, I saw the first episode at your house.
Okay.
And I was interested in it before, it looks good.
Okay, it's based on a Philip K. Dick novel, and I am willing to put out there that there is no other author alive who has given Hollywood more fuel for the fire than Philip K. Dick. Like,
what else has he done?
I mean, other than like Stephen King, who is garbage, Philip K. Dick is Blade Runner, dude.
Oh, okay. Sorry. What else?
Blade Runner, Minority Report, Paycheck. I mean, there's a huge list of movies that are based on either novels or the stories of Philip K. Dick.
It's pretty prolific.
And yeah, absolutely. And his stuff is just wacky and out there enough where you have to adapt it. I mean, I'm sure we have a lot more stuff of his to adapt, and he was a really weird dude in real life too. So, I would even put forth some sort of fictionalized real life story about Philip K. Dick would be pretty damn good. Anyway, the story about the Man in the High Castle it's what if the Germans and the Japanese won the World War II. And I want you to watch it, so I'm not going to say too much about it.
All right.
But man, it really sticks well to how you think history would turn out. It's interesting to see how Americans would have adapted. And as far as the geography is laid out and the conquering of America, they have the Japanese western states. So you have like the Pacific Northwest, California, on over to like Utah, Nevada, things like that.
The Ring of Fire.
Japanese Pacific states. Yeah. And then you have the, it's the, neutral, I don't know, it sounds like Star Trek, but like the Rockies are like a neutral zone. And so people actually have some freedom there. And then of course anything beyond the Rocky Mountains into the east is all German controlled. So the setup of the story is we think that there's something going on between the Germans and the Japanese, and there, of course, Hitler is alive, but he's not well. And a bunch of the Japanese and the Germans are afraid that once Hitler dies, of like Parkinson's, I think is what they said he has, that, Goebbels and one of the other top guys is going to, attack Japan. And so Japan's kind of like hedging their bets and trying to prepare for what might come.
Yeah, but there's also the whole historical precedent of the great man who conquers and then all of his underlings, once he dies, just destroy it and break up the conquered lands.
Right, exactly.
So I don't think Japan would actually have much to worry about.
Well, but this is also the thing though. Germany used the nuclear bomb on America rather than us using it on Japan. And so if you have Hitler, pushing the button of the Death Star, you're not going to fuck around.
True. I'm saying after he's dead though.
Well, yeah, but he's still got a finger on the button, so to speak. Anyway, that's my number 3. All right, Jeffrey, your number 2 nerdy show of the year.
The Strain.
Ooh, like it. I did not know that you had watched The Strain, actually.
Yes, I binge watched it.
So season 2.
For 1 and 2, I just kept.
Okay. So you watched it all recently then.
Yeah.
I got you.
I loved the flashbacks and the story of the master and all the Nazi flashbacks. They were just. I like shows with flashbacks, like historical flashbacks.
Yeah, I got you. No, it was good. And I think The Strain has been one of those shows where like you never know it's going to come back for another season because it plays out in the summer. So you keep hoping for more, and you're like, you get it. And they left a cliffhanger, of course, season 1. Then you watch season 2, and you're like, fuck, they left a kind of cliffhanger again. So yeah, I'm with you right there, man. I definitely enjoyed that show.
It's just creepy and kind of gross and cool.
It's. I love how the vampire mythos they turn it on its head, and not in a Twilight kind of way where they've really just made it a caricature of the myth, but the vampires from the Strain are pretty awesome.
Yeah, they're almost they're kind of like zombies, but they can also be controlled by like the master. Yeah,
and I think that of course it's called the Strain because it's focusing in on the biological aspect of this disease that turns someone into a vampire.
It's kind of like a parasitical infection.
Yeah,
and not to spoil too much, but man, when they pull that like 6 foot worm out of that guy's mouth,
oh my god!
In the first season, I was like, holy shit.
Ew.
All right, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is a film. It's actually a show, rather, on HBO by Damon Lindelof and the original author of the work. It's called The Leftovers, and I don't know if you watched the first season of The Leftovers. Like, I liked it. It was really subdued, very very melancholic, and almost to the point of being like a constant depressing show to watch. However, they really, not only did they like change that for season 2, they also changed the opening theme song, which makes it almost seem like it's a happy little show. Just if you're going to listen to the theme song of the season 2. And
is this are these the ones with the kid from from the 80s who was in in that family TV show?
I don't think so.
Shit, what was his name? I can't think of his name.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a joke. He did the Left Behind series.
Oh my God, Kirk Cameron. God damn it, Jeff. Jesus, no. But if anybody is unfamiliar with the Leftovers show, it's sort of like it has the idea of the rapture and whether or not people got taken up by this holy act of God, but not nearly enough people have been taken percentage wise for a rapture. And so the first season you have Christopher Eccleston, of course,
cool.
who's the 10th Doctor, playing a preacher in this town in New York, small town, and he's telling people it's not the rapture, it wasn't enough people. In fact, he's actually made his personal crusade to prove that all these people who were taken were actually like terrible people. It's like God wouldn't have taken these people.
So is it kind of like the rapture for evil people?
It wasn't even evil people because like babies were taken. It was just random. That's basically what it was. It was just a random event. And when there's this group who they're like a cult. They're a death cult. They all wear white and smoke
ISIS?
and don't speak.
Oh.
Oh. No, I'd actually prefer these people in white. Anyway, they smoke and they try to tell people that they're, you might as well just die, and people join them out of depression and hopelessness.
Flagellists.
It's emotionally at least.
Yeah.
And so, that's where season 1 goes. But season 2 picks up with Justin Theroux, who is, I guess one of his best known roles is that of being Mr. Jennifer Aniston. That's right. He's famous for being married to her, but he is with another. Basically the first season he's gone with this. He's going crazy is what it essentially amounts to. He's going insane, and he witnesses the suicide of this leader of the death cult or whatever. And so she's sort of following him around in his brain. And so that this entire second season, he's having like these moments where he's trying to ignore and then talk to and work through this, his anguish.
Kind of like Dexter.
Yeah. It's a lot more nuanced and, emotional, I guess I should say. comparatively, but everybody in this, they moved to Texas. Apparently, as I was talking about, I'd go back to the story about the woman from Texas who thought she can control the tornadoes. There was one town in the entire world that didn't lose a single person on the day the event happened. And so, it's sort of become like this holy land. It's like a national park. It costs like millions of dollars to buy a house there. And they actually were able to buy a house, and they all moved to Texas, to this little town. And it's all like what's going on in the seedy underbelly of this actual, supposed holy city or whatever. And you have Christopher Eccleston, who's already there by the time you pick up in season 2, and you have some weird shit going on. And, season 1 was good, but not great. Season 2 was great.
Well,
So
I have to check it out sometime.
I'm very impressed by it, by the acting, the scripts, and the depth of the characters in that show. Jeffrey, you're number 1 for 2015.
Well, I'm sure it's not that original, but Game of Thrones.
Season 5.
Yes.
I'm with you, dude. Of course, I would have chosen this if you had not. So I'm glad you did. So give me a little bit more room on my list. Anyway, season 5 Game of Thrones, man, a lot of shit went down.
Oh, yeah.
In season 5. And of course, we had quite a bit of deviation from the novels.
I was going to say,
but
including
also,
one of your favorite episodes, which wasn't in the book.
The episode called Hard Home, which is by far, no contest whatsoever, the best episode of that show thus far. Of course, it's when Jon Snow is fighting the White Walkers and the Whites at the Northern's, I guess, stronghold of Hard Home. And
I think we talked about this in one of our other shows.
We did. I think we did. We probably did a Game of Thrones wrap up.
In Cast of Castle Rock.
Oh yeah, yes.
So those will come back. Yeah, I'm sure when the next season comes back.
Hell yeah,
that'll be fun.
So Game of Thrones is your top choice. Of course, we're all waiting with bated breath to see what happens to our boy. And I think by now, if people haven't heard, you suck and have been apparently living with the Amish, but Jon Snow was maybe killed.
Got shanked in the yard.
Yeah, by the Night's Watch at the end of the season, and so we're all just waiting around. And of course, I've been checking the rumor sites neurotically, almost on a daily level for news about our boy Jon Snow.
I'm pretty sure I'm almost to that point in the books.
Oh, that's right, because you just started reading them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, but
I was kind of under orders.
True.
You're like, you must read these.
You must read them. No, yeah, the books are great, but I mean, that's the thing, though. We're now caught up, and of course, George R.R. Martin has said as of yesterday or the day before yesterday that the next book will not, in fact, be out before season 6. So, come hell or high water, that second week of April, or there was the third week of April, whatever it is, when the premiere is, we are going to know what happens to Jon Snow. And man, I've been waiting a long time for this. So excellent choice.
So, not discuss theories right now, or what?
Nah, we'll save that for
it's so hard.
A pre-show.
It's so hard not to.
It's so hard not to.
All right, so what's your number one?
My number one show actually came out almost a year ago. It was at February of 2015, where Netflix dumped upon the world Daredevil. And I'll be honest with you, Daredevil was my first love in comic books. 4th, 5th grade, man, I was all about some fucking Daredevil. And, of course, I later on, when I got into a little bit older, I started getting really into X-Men. But, I had my doubts about how Daredevil was going to play out, not because the Ben Affleck movie was so terrible, it's because the kind of hero Daredevil was. I'm like, how are you going to do this? I mean, you with Spider-Man, Captain America, the Avengers are sort of like the national, international level heroes, but Daredevil isn't like that. He's a dude for the neighborhood. And that, it's something I had forgotten, I guess, by the time the show came out. And it took me probably about a month or so to actually sit down and watch. But boy, when I did, I think I watched all the episodes within a span of about 3 days.
Well, it's kind of like a procedural crime drama with a twist.
It's better than that in my opinion.
Well, yeah. The twist is it's better.
Yeah. Of course, Vincent D'Onofrio's character of Kingpin was damn impressive.
Really creeped the fuck out of my wife.
Yeah.
Especially, the car scene, the car door scene.
Oh, yeah.
She
and,
had
people are talking about
nightmares about that.
Oh, my God.
She would just hear the noise in her dreams.
But not Kilgrave? I think Kilgrave was creepy.
We're only like on the second episode.
Oh, okay.
With her. But yeah, I've seen all of Jessica Jones, but she hasn't. But the car door beheading, she would hear that sound in her dreams.
Oh my God.
And it'd wake her up.
That's kind of messed up. Anyway, so Daredevil, from top to bottom, episode 1 to the end, loved every minute of it. I thought the fight scenes were some of the best I've not even in like cinema, but it's the best of everything that I've seen lately anyway.
There was a little showy
very
stuff.
Realistic.
There was a little, half of it was ultra realistic. Half of it was not half, probably more like 1/3 was a bit showy. But Daredevil is supposed to have a really high proprioception, so he can
right.
He can do all those spins and shit and pull it off.
Right. I get you there, and I think you can definitely explain some of that with his abilities.
Yeah.
Pretty well. All right, moving on. Our number one, since we don't really watch a lot of non-nerdy, geeky, kinky, Tauntaun kind of shows.
It was like,
So what's your one show that you? What one normal show did you like this year, Jeffrey?
Well, I'd like to say Person of Interest, but I'm still back in like 2012, so I don't know how this last season was. The only normal show I've watched for 2015 is the second season of Blacklist.
People keep telling me to try Blacklist.
It's
I watched
pretty good.
the first 2 or 3 episodes, and I was like,
it's good.
I got you. All right. Well, my normal show is, of course, AMC's Better Call Saul. Which did you watch?
No, I haven't seen it.
Jesus Christ, Jeff!
Sorry.
God damn it!
Well, think about the shit I haven't seen.
I know. I'm not going to say it's as good as Breaking Bad, but it definitely has that same vibe. Great writing, phenomenal acting.
I haven't even finished Breaking Bad yet.
Odenkirk is. Wait. What?
I haven't even finished Breaking Bad yet.
What planet do you live on?
I just, like a couple of weeks ago, I just finished Falling Skies.
Oh, Jesus
so
Christ.
I should tell you how far behind.
To finish that show because they jumped the shark, and I'm just like, I'm done with it. Like once that little girl grew up, like in a day, into some hot blonde woman who was Asian, I'm just like, I'm fucking done with this show. Anyway, no, you have to finish Breaking Bad because one of the very last episodes of the show, it's a show entitled Ozymandias, was actually directed by one Rian Johnson, who is not only directing but also writing the next 2 Star Wars.
I think he told me what Osmandi meant one time.
Ozymandias, yes, he's writing and directing episode 8 and then just writing episode 9. But Ozymandias is actually rated a 9.9 on IMDb.
Holy crap.
And that's with like 72,000 votes.
Holy crap.
It's basically the most flawless episode in television history.
And unfortunately,
of anything.
I came across a picture, so I think I know what happens. I saw Bryan Cranston holding his own head. So
well, Ozymandias isn't the final episode. I think it's episode 8.
Okay.
So somebody big does die that episode, but obviously not Walt at that point. I won't tell you. You have to go get it yourself. Okay. So that's our favorite normal shows. All right, Jeff, favorite comedy of 2015.
The only comedy show I've seen for 2015 is Master of None, and that was actually thanks to you. And I think I got through 3 episodes at your house.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
It's pretty damn funny.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Of course, it's like a critical darling. I think it's like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes or like 98%, something like that. My choice is The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, another Netflix show. I think Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Master of None, and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
And what's the name of the guy
Netflix
who does
offerings.
the Master of None? The guy who stars in it.
Aziz Ansari.
Oh yeah, the comedian. So if you like his comedy, you'll probably like the show.
Yeah. I actually don't really like his comedy very much, but I like Master of None. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, of course, is a completely different kind of show. It's very whimsical and outlandish, but I think that's something I dig. And if you haven't had a chance to check it out, you should check out Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. All right, Jeff, top movies. What's your number 3 movie?
My number 3,
2015.
Like I said, I haven't seen like half the movies I intended to see, so it's kind of like a 3-way tie between Inside Out, Age of Ultron, Avengers, and Terminator Genesis, which I know I'm probably going to get.
All right. I'm with you, dude.
But,
I can agree with one of those. In fact, I guess
you did agree with one of those. Exactly.
Yeah, I agreed with my number 3 is also Inside Out, and I know we said we didn't want to overlap, but you tied, so I took it. Terminator Genesis, Jeffrey. You might lose your street cred with that.
It was what it was supposed to be, an action movie. It didn't. It didn't like make me like, oh my god, I need to rethink the universe now. It was like, holy shit, you see that just blew up, and now that's gonna blow up too. And he just shot that guy. It was one of those.
So, it was at least better than a Michael Bay movie.
It was enjoyable on a base level.
I actually like Terminator Genesis more than I think most people did. We all, we did a culture dig about that. Age of Ultron, I was a little disappointed with, but it was still, reasonably good.
Yeah.
But of course, Inside Out, man. Inside Out it made me feel feelings in my feelings maker.
It was the exact opposite of Terminator Genesis. It was not a base.
Yeah. It was very manipulative emotionally.
Yes.
And I felt like I've seen the movie probably 4 or 5 times now, and each time I feel it, man. I feel it right in the feelings maker.
In fact, we watched it, a week ago?
Yeah, we watched it on Saturday, right?
Yeah. Thank you for that.
No, it was Friday.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Anyway, so what's your number 2, Jeff?
The Martian. I was very pleasantly surprised in that. I know I'd heard people say it was good, but I thought it was
a good show.
I thought it was damn good.
Good movie.
The gallows humor aspect of it was excellent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's going to be an Oscar front runner. Maybe not the number 1, but it's definitely going to get nominated. And my number 2 is your number 1, so we can go ahead and just throw that out there. But is of course The Force Awakens.
Yes.
And despite the issues with that movie, it was still very much a return to form for the Star Wars galaxy.
Well,
and it set up the things that needed to be set up, and the performances made that movie.
Yeah. And the reason I have it as my number 1 is partially kind of hope for the future. I'm excited about what's to come. The other movies didn't really have that. The other movies didn't really have that as much.
It was the opposite of that.
Yeah.
It was nothing but despair. Episode 3. Oh, what kind of shit is this?
Well, I meant the other movies I chose didn't really have that. And in the next movie with these characters, I guess
right.
Avengers, but it's different. That was kind of an ending of the old, beginning of the new. This was kind of like beginning of the new. Just off the
awesome.
bat.
So my number 1 movie of 2015 is actually a movie that's getting thrown out there quite a bit on the critic circuit right now, and I'm not going to say this is the greatest action movie ever made, but man, it's right in the top 3. That's Mad Max Fury Road.
But the plot was a little thin.
Plot was driving an entire movie.
Yeah,
it took place almost entirely in real time, so I don't expect much in terms of plot, but character-wise, I mean, the actors hit it out of the park. Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron as Furiosa, and just the little vignette, that little vignette in time you get in Mad Max's world, and the whole crazy ass chase throughout the entirety of the movie, man. It knocked my socks off.
The whole movie can be summed up in almost in one phrase. Shit, run!
or drive.
Or drive, yeah.
You're right. And just how it all, it's really masterful filmmaking, how that movie plays out from start to finish, because it is, in fact, and for the most part, real time.
Yeah.
Over the course of an hour and a half or whatever. And it doesn't, like, once it grabs you, and it grabs you probably in the first 2 or 3 minutes, it doesn't let go until, the credits start rolling.
And I will say, whoever the kind of creepy boss guy was, good taste in women.
Yeah, what something Joe. I forget. It's been a little while since I've watched it. Like Tamerjan Joe, or damn it, what's his name?
I don't know.
Anyway, you're right. He was a pretty creepy dude.
Yeah.
And of course, he was chasing his lady friends, his impregnated one especially, on the way to get Furiosa and later on Mad Max. Anyway, that's my number one. All right, Jeff, that's going to bring our 2015 year in review to a close. And
now I have a quick Oedipal Earth.
Don't frack my mother. Don't frack my mother.
Yes. Segment I would do on my other show, but I there was a kind of a sci-fi tie-in to this one, so I added it to this show. Really, the only reason I bring it up is because it reminds me of Spaceballs.
Okay, go.
Pollution in China has gotten so bad that one Canadian company is successfully selling aerosol cans of fresh air to people living in the country.
And it's not because somebody farted.
The wealthy of China are apparently paying well for the chance to breathe non-polluted air, if only for a brief time.
Talk to you about living in a peculiar age, man. Like, what age is this where rich people are paying for clean air?
Well, do you remember that scene in Spaceballs?
Ridiculous. As president of Planet Spaceball, I can assure both you and your viewers that there's absolutely no air shortage whatsoever. Yes, of course. I've heard the same rumor myself. Yes, thanks for calling and not reversing the charges. Yes, bye. Shithead.
President screwed.
Yes.
No, not at all.
Oh, really? He just did a speech where there's nothing wrong with the air. I don't care no matter what somebody says, like the leader. And then as soon as the cameras are off, he reaches into his desk and cracks open a can of air.
Oh.
Well, the air is called Vitality Air. And the first batch sold 500 canisters filled with fresh air from the Rocky Mountain town of Banff. Went on sale in China last month and sold out within 2 weeks. We could be selling air, dude.
Oh my God!
Talk about the green revolution.
It's coming from Colorado. It's coming from Colorado. It makes me wonder how fresh that air really is.
No, it's coming from Banff, Canada, I think, or is that in Colorado? I don't know. But
you said Rockies.
Well, yeah, there are Rockies in Canada too. It keeps going.
Oh, Canada. Okay. I got you.
Now they say now we're taking lots of pre-orders and our upcoming shipment. We're getting close to the 1,000 mark. The air sells for $14 to $20 depending on the size of the canister.
Oh my God, people are stupid. People are so stupid.
But just think about it, dude. We could be selling air.
I know, man.
We could be
Canada, right?
Yeah, we could sell air even from Florida, because lots of people think of Florida as the sunshine state. It's sunshine. We can
sell
air.
sunshine.
It's
clean
sunshine air.
Fresh air.
Yeah.
All right.
Put a little LED light with a mirror in the bottom of each can.
Let's do it. All right, man.
Now,
what's next?
And now they're not that important, not even close to normal, but definitely not boring. It's N3 News. They sure do love a man or 8 in uniform. 2 Belgian newspapers are reporting that during November's ISIS manhunt in Brussels, 8 soldiers and 2 policewomen coped with the tension by throwing an orgy.
Why not?
When you got that feeling, you need sexual healing.
I don't even know what to say to that, so I'm just going to say, why not? Maybe they were just women who really wanted to help out with their prostate health.
The action went down in a police station that was temporarily used as a barracks while military forces combed the city. And at one point, between long shifts, a 10-person orgy began amidst the cots.
Oh my God.
Reminds me of the reports of the unbelievable number of condoms used by athletes during the Olympics. You know, it's like you get...
That's true. I've heard about that.
You get like hot, young, fit people together, and of course, what they want to do, they want to fuck each other.
They're going to fuck, man. Yeah, exactly.
I hope no one gets in trouble for this. After all, they were getting off duty. And our last story for the day, a hard lesson. The government in the Netherlands has clarified that it is legal for driving instructors to offer lessons in return for sex, as long as the students are over the age of 18.
Seems perfectly reasonable.
However...
Those Dutch, I tell you.
You might not think they're so reasonable after this next part. However, it is illegal to offer sex in return for lessons because that would be prostitution. So the guy, whoever's doing the lesson can say, hey, just give me sex, I'll give you a lesson. But you can't go, I'll give you sex if you give me the lesson for free, because that would be prostitution.
Oh, my God.
Now, prostitution,
okay.
To make it even weirder, prostitution is legal, but it is strictly regulated. And the instance of the person who wants the driver's lesson asking for sex would technically be unregulated prostitution, so it's illegal.
Oh, I'm glad they clarified that. I really am.
Isn't that weird?
All right, man. All right.
And that is it.
That's going to wrap it up. So I guess that's it for this episode. Episode 4. No, we already did episode 4. This is episode 5 already. Episode 5 of the Kinky Tauntaun.
It's been fun.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hello, cutie pie. What is thy bidding, my master?
Listen to me very carefully.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
My nipples are very sensitive. Feel how soft my skin is.
Do it! Do it!
Ew, seriously? That is so gross.
There, fucker! Do you need assistance?
Kinda grabs you by the boo-boo, don't it?
More teens are having luck.
He has an erection.
Yeah. It's all her fault.
Then he got an idea. A wonderful, awful idea.
Seduction used to be an art. Now, of course, it's brutish and it's predatory. And here's what consent is. The person is severely intoxicated or unconscious as a result of alcohol or drugs, is physically or developmentally disabled. The victim is under the age of 13 or is elderly. So as long as the girl's 13, she can give consent for sex, provided it's creative and enthusiastic.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
No means yes if you know how to spot it.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life.
I am not gay. I never have been gay.
He says he's not gay, but let's see what a few drinks and a back massage will do to him, huh? What do you think? Me? You, the old lady, a little sandwich action?
Okay. But I get to be on top.
Ow! Let me guess, you dropped the soap.
Please take that out of my ass.
You're in more dire need of a blowjob than any white man in history.
Gross, right in the fucking eyeball.
Because it really does make you feel like you're inside this 11-year-old girl.
In a profoundly wholesome way.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. May God have mercy on your soul.
I think you are filth. I think you are scum. You are a degenerate.
I'm not a pervert.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.